A high school reunion brings old friends and rivals back together, but they're far from the people they once were. The quiet outsider is now a millionaire. The former queen bee is struggling, and one hidden secret could change everything. Mia Thompson never thought she'd be back in her hometown, not after the way life turned out. She used to be the girl everyone wanted to be, confident, admired, always the center of attention. Now, bills are piling up. Her dream of becoming a successful artist feels like a distant fantasy. And the last thing she wants is to show up at a high school reunion pretending everything is fine. But then, the invitation arrives. A beautifully designed envelope, sealed with gold lettering. Class of 2010 Reunion. An evening to remember. Mia stares at it, fingers hesitating at the edges. Maybe she should just throw it away. What would be the point? To let everyone see how much she hasn't figured things out? But a part of her, a small rebellious part, whispers, "What if?" Meanwhile, across the city, Austin Carter is staring at the exact same invitation. But his reasons for hesitation? Entirely different. Back in high school, no one noticed him. He was just the quiet kid, the one people barely remembered. Now, things have changed, more than anyone could imagine. And yet, as he looks at the reunion invite, a question lingers in his mind. Will they see him differently now? Austin Carter steps out of his car, adjusting the cuffs of his perfectly tailored suit. The venue, a sleek modern banquet hall, glistens under the evening lights. He takes a deep breath, feeling a strange mix of anticipation and nervous energy. Back in high school, no one would have imagined he'd be the one hosting this grand event. Inside, laughter and chatter fill the air. Old friends reconnect, hugs are exchanged, and memories come flooding back. But amidst the happy reunions, a certain tension lingers. People steal glances at Austin, whispering to each other. Is that really him? The once overlooked kid who spent lunch breaks alone now owns the very building they're standing in. Across the room, Mia steps inside, her heart pounding. She spent hours debating whether to come. Her outfit, a simple but elegant dress, hides the reality she doesn't want anyone to see. The unpaid bills at home, the art pieces collecting dust in her tiny apartment. She forces a smile, greeting old classmates, dodging questions about her career with vague answers. Then, her eyes lock onto Austin. For a moment, time slows. There's something familiar in his face, yet so different. She remembers him. Kind of. The quiet, nerdy kid who always sat in the back of the classroom. But now, he looks confident, composed, and undeniably successful. Austin notices Mia too, and suddenly the past and present collide in a way neither of them expected. As the night unfolds, old dynamics start to shift, and a conversation between Austin and Mia is inevitable. But what will happen when their carefully crafted facades start to crack? Austin watches Mia from across the room. She's surrounded by old friends, flashing the same effortless smile she was known for in high school. But something about it feels different, forced, maybe. Like she's playing a role she doesn't quite believe in anymore. He debates for a moment, then takes a breath and walks over. "Mia Thompson," he says, a small smirk on his lips. "I wasn't sure you'd be here." Mia turns, startled for half a second before recognition sets in. She studies his face, sharp jawline, expensive watch, an air of confidence she doesn't remember. This isn't the Austin Carter from high school. "Austin?" she says, tilting her head. "Wow, I mean, look at you." "Yeah," he chuckles. "Bit of a glow-up, I guess." She laughs, and just like that, the tension eases. They fall into conversation, reminiscing about old teachers, ridiculous school pranks, and how different life has turned out. But as they talk, Mia realizes something unexpected. She enjoys this. Not just the nostalgia, but Austin himself. He's funny, sharp, and surprisingly easy to talk to. And Austin? He's realizing that the girl he once admired isn't just the high school queen everyone remembers. There's something more there, something real. But just as they're starting to reconnect, the past has a way of sneaking back in. An old rival watches them from a distance, a smirk forming, and a long-buried truth is about to resurface. One that could change everything. Just as Austin and Mia settle into their conversation, an all-too-familiar voice cuts through the noise. Well, well, this is a sight I never expected. Austin turns to see Enoch Rivera, the one guy who made his high school years miserable. Back then, Enoch was the smooth talker, the one who always knew how to get under people's skin, and judging by the look on his face, some things never change. "Didn't think you'd show up, Carter," Enoch continues, swirling his drink. "I mean, back in the day you weren't exactly reunion material." Mia stiffens, shooting Enoch a glare. "Really? We're doing this?" Austin, however, just smirks. "Guess people change," he says, his voice calm. Collected. "Some more than others." Enoch laughs, shaking his head. "Man, don't get me wrong, I respect the whole rich and successful thing you've got going on, but it's funny, right? How money makes people suddenly interesting." Mia's stomach twists. She knows exactly what Enoch is implying. She steals a glance at Austin, but his face betrays nothing. "Come on, Mia," Enoch adds with a grin. "I mean, back in high school, you wouldn't have given this guy the time of day. Now look at you two, all cozy." Mia forces a laugh, trying to play it off. "Wow, Enoch, still stuck in high school drama? Impressive." But Austin isn't laughing. The words linger in his mind, echoing a quiet insecurity he thought he'd buried. The moment is brief, but the damage is done. As the night goes on, the doubt creeps in. Was Mia's interest in him real, or was it just curiosity? And for Mia, a different question begins to haunt her. If Austin knew the truth about where her life really is right now, would he still look at her the same way? The reunion winds down, but Mia can't shake the feeling that something has changed. Austin is still friendly, still engaging, but there's a distance now, subtle but unmistakable. Enoch's words linger in the air, poisoning what had been a surprisingly enjoyable night. As guests begin to leave, Austin turns to Mia. "Hey," he says, voice casual but firm. "You want to get out of here? Grab a coffee or something?" Mia hesitates. A part of her wants to say no, to walk away before things get too complicated. But another part, the part that remembers how easy it was talking to him before Enoch's interruption, finds herself nodding. Minutes later, they're sitting at a quiet cafe, the reunion now just a memory. Austin leans back in his chair, studying her. "So, tell me," he says, "what have you been up to? I mean, really?" Mia grips her coffee cup a little tighter. She hates lying, but the truth feels too embarrassing. "Still doing my art," she says vaguely. "Working on some new projects, trying to get my name out there." Austin nods, intrigued. "That's amazing. Actually," he pauses for a moment as if debating something. Then he leans forward. "You know, I invest in a lot of different industries, tech, real estate, but I've always been drawn to creative fields. Maybe I could help. Fund an exhibit, introduce you to the right people." Mia's stomach drops. She should be thrilled. A chance like this could change everything. But instead, panic rises in her chest, because Austin thinks she's an artist on the rise, struggling but making progress. He doesn't know that she's barely selling anything, that she's behind on rent, that her career isn't just struggling, it's on life support. And if he finds out, would he still look at her the same way? Mia forces a smile and thanks him, but inside she's spiraling. She needs to figure out what to do, fast, because one way or another, the truth is going to come out. Mia barely sleeps that night. Austin's offer replays in her mind on an endless loop. She knows he meant well, but accepting his help would mean letting him see the truth. And she's not ready for that. Not yet. The next morning, she meets up with Evelyn, her best friend since high school, and the only person who truly knows what's going on. They sit in a small diner where Mia picks at a half-eaten piece of toast, lost in thought. "I don't know what to do," she admits finally. "I mean, Austin wants to help, but he thinks I'm more successful than I actually am." Evelyn raises an eyebrow. "Mia, you need to tell him the truth." Mia groans, slumping in her seat. And say what? Hey, by the way, I can't afford rent, and I've barely sold a painting in months? She shakes her head. No way. He'd see me differently. Evelyn sighs. Or he'd respect you for being honest. Look, I know you don't want to admit it, but this isn't just about Austin. You're scared of what everyone will think. Mia doesn't respond because Evelyn is right. Meanwhile, across town, Isabella, a former classmate who was always a little too interested in other people's business, scrolls through her phone. She stumbles upon Mia's barely active art page, noticing the lack of recent work, the low engagement. A smirk forms on her lips. Later that evening, at a casual post-reunion gathering, Mia walks in, ready to keep up the act just a little longer. She spots Austin and forces a confident smile, hoping he won't notice the cracks in her facade. But before she can say a word, Isabella's voice rings out. Mia, I was just telling everyone about your art. How's that gallery show coming along? Mia freezes. She doesn't have a gallery show. She doesn't have anything. Austin's gaze sharpens, confusion flickering in his eyes. Gallery show? He asks. Mia opens her mouth, scrambling for an answer, but Isabella isn't finished. I mean, I assumed you had one, but I was looking at your stuff online, and, well, it seems kind of quiet. She tilts her head, feigning innocence. Are you even still selling? Silence. Mia's heart pounds. The truth, the one she's been so desperate to hide, is now out in the open. And the look on Austin's face, it's unreadable. Mia has spent years avoiding this exact moment. Now, there's no escape. And the worst part? She has no idea what Austin is thinking. Mia feels every pair of eyes in the room on her. The air is thick with tension, the kind that makes it hard to breathe. She forces a laugh, trying to play it off. Well, you know how the art world is. One day you're hot, the next, not so much. But Austin isn't laughing. His expression is unreadable, his usual warmth replaced by something else. Confusion? Disappointment? Isabella smirks, clearly pleased with herself, and turns back to her drink, satisfied that she's done enough damage. But for Mia, the damage is only beginning. Austin finally speaks. So, you're not working on an exhibit? Mia swallows hard. No, she admits. I mean, I was, but it fell through, and sales have been slow, and... She stops herself, exhaling sharply. I didn't lie to you, Austin. I just didn't tell you everything. Austin looks away for a moment, processing. Why not? His voice is calm, but there's something underneath it, something that stings. Mia sighs. Because I didn't want you to see me like this. Not when you... She gestures vaguely at him. Not when you've got everything figured out. Austin's jaw tightens. Mia, I don't care about success or money. I care about honesty. He lets out a short, humorless laugh. And here I was thinking we were actually connecting. That one hurts. Mia opens her mouth to respond, to explain, to fix this. But before she can, Austin shakes his head. I need a minute, he mutters, turning and walking toward the exit. Mia watches him go, her heart sinking. She knew this moment was coming. She just didn't expect it to hurt this much. And now, the question is, has she already lost him? Mia stands frozen, watching Austin disappear through the exit. The room around her feels suffocating. Too many eyes, too many whispers. She needs to get out of here. She rushes outside, scanning the dimly lit parking lot. Austin is leaning against his car, hands on his hips, staring down at the pavement. Austin, she calls softly. He doesn't look up right away. When he finally does, his expression is unreadable. Why didn't you just tell me, Mia? His voice isn't angry, just tired. She exhales sharply. Because I didn't want you to see me as some failure. Austin shakes his head. You think I'd see you that way? Mia hesitates. I don't know, she admits. I mean, look at you. You walked into that reunion, and everyone was in awe. You've got this incredible life, success, confidence, and I'm just trying to survive. Austin studies her, his expression softening. Mia, I never cared about any of that. Not with you. She looks down, fidgeting with her hands. I just didn't want you to think I was using you. Austin lets out a humorless laugh. Using me? He shakes his head. Mia, I offered to help because I wanted to, not because I thought you needed saving. Silence stretches between them. The weight of unspoken words lingers in the cold night air. Austin sighs, rubbing a hand over his jaw. I thought what we had tonight was real, and now I don't know if I even know the real you. Mia's heart clenches. You do, she says, her voice barely above a whisper. Austin, you do. But the doubt is already there, hanging between them like a wall. And Mia knows this might be the moment that changes everything. Mia feels the weight of Austin's words settle in her chest. The thought of losing him, of losing whatever this could have been, makes her stomach twist. Austin, she says, stepping closer, I don't have it all figured out. And yeah, I was scared to tell you that because I didn't want you to look at me differently. But if you really think everything between us was fake, then you don't know me at all. Austin watches her, searching her face. He wants to believe her. He really does. But the doubt lingers. I just don't understand why you thought you had to pretend, he says finally. I mean, back in high school I was invisible to you, and now, suddenly you care? Mia flinches. That's not fair, isn't it? Austin crosses his arms. If I were still that guy, the broke, awkward kid from high school, would we even be standing here right now? Mia's throat tightens. You really think I only care because of your success? Austin doesn't answer right away. Instead, he exhales, shaking his head. I don't know, Mia. I want to believe this is real. But how do I know you're not just drawn to the version of me that everyone sees now? Mia's heart pounds. This is it. This is the moment she has to prove that what she feels is real. So she makes a choice. I don't want your money, Austin, she says, her voice steady. I don't need you to fix my career. I just want you. She takes a breath. But if you can't believe that, then maybe I was wrong about us. Silence. Austin looks at her, conflicted. For the first time tonight, Mia doesn't try to fill the space. She lets it sit there, heavy and unspoken. Then, without another word, she turns and walks away. Mia just put everything on the line. But will Austin believe her? Or is this the end before it even begins? Mia walks away, her heart pounding with every step. She doesn't turn back. She doesn't let herself hesitate. If Austin can't see that she cares about him, not his money, not his success, then there's nothing left to say. Austin watches her go, his mind racing. He wants to call out to her, to stop her, but the doubt still lingers. Then a memory flashes in his mind. High school, junior year. Austin sitting alone at lunch, headphones in, pretending not to care that no one notices him. And Mia, walking past, catching his eye for just a second before turning away. She never saw him back then. At least that's what he always believed. But what if he was wrong? Austin exhales sharply, running a hand through his hair. Then, before he can overthink it, he pushes off his car and moves. Mia is halfway down the sidewalk when she hears footsteps behind her. Mia, wait. She stops but doesn't turn around. Austin, don't. I was wrong. His voice is steady but urgent. You didn't have to prove anything to me. I was just too caught up in my own insecurities to see what was right in front of me. Mia finally turns. Her eyes search his face, looking for hesitation, for doubt. But this time, there isn't any. I don't care where you are in life, Austin continues. I don't care about your success, or your struggles, or whatever Isabella or Enoch think. I care about you. He takes a step closer. And if you'll let me, I want to be there for all of it, not just the good parts. Mia's breath catches. She wants to believe him, but she's scared. What if I never get my big break? She asks quietly. Austin smiles, soft, genuine. Then we figure it out together. A beat of silence. Then Mia exhales a shaky laugh. You know, you are kind of different from high school. Austin chuckles. Yeah, she nods. But I think I like this version even more. For the first time that night, everything feels right. No more pretenses, no more doubts. Just them standing in the middle of a quiet street, finally seeing each other for who they really are. And maybe, just maybe, that's how real love begins. Not with perfection, but with honesty. Mia doesn't realize how fast her heart is beating until the silence stretches between them. Austin is standing so close now, close enough that she can feel the warmth of his presence, close enough that all she has to do is lean in just slightly. She swallows. So, what now? Austin tilts his head, studying her like she's the only thing that matters in the world. Now? He takes a slow step closer, and Mia swears the air shifts around them. Now, I take you on a real date. No reunions, no high school drama, just us. Mia raises an eyebrow, smirking. A real date, huh? And what does a millionaire's date look like? Austin chuckles. That depends. Do you want the rooftop restaurant with a view of the city, or the world's best street tacos from this little place I found downtown? Mia pretends to consider. I mean, the fancy option sounds nice. She pauses, then grins. But tacos sound better. Austin grins right back. I was hoping you'd say that. Before she can say anything else, his hand finds hers. Gently, naturally, like it's supposed to be there. Mia glances down, her breath catching at the simple warmth of it. It's been years, but this moment? It feels like something new. She looks up at him, something unspoken passing between them. Austin hesitates for just a second, giving her a chance to pull away, but she doesn't. Instead, she leans in ever so slightly. That's all the permission he needs. Austin closes the space between them, his lips brushing hers in a soft, hesitant kiss. Like he's savoring every second, like he wants to remember exactly how this moment feels. Mia melts into it, her free hand reaching up to rest lightly against his chest. When they finally pull apart, Austin lets out a quiet laugh, resting his forehead against hers. Yeah, he murmurs. Definitely better than high school. Mia grins. Took us long enough. As they walk hand in hand toward his car, laughing and teasing, one thing is clear. This isn't just a second chance. It's the start of something real, and neither of them are letting go this time. Mia leans against Austin's car, still catching her breath from the kiss. Her fingers are still laced with his, and for the first time in years, she feels like things are falling into place. But deep down, a different kind of tension stirs inside her. There's something Austin doesn't know, something bigger than just her struggling career, something that could change everything. Her mother had orchestrated everything. The reunion, Isabella's public humiliation attempt, Enoch's well-timed comments, every single moment had been subtly influenced to push her toward Austin. And Mia had played a role in it too, even if she hadn't fully realized it at first. She wasn't just a struggling artist. She had been working behind the scenes in a way Austin never saw, consulting anonymously for companies, including his. And if he had rejected her, if he had treated her like just another gold digger, the consequences could have been severe. Mia? Austin's voice pulls her from her thoughts. He's watching her carefully now. You okay? She forces a smile. Yeah, just thinking. Austin chuckles. About what? Mia hesitates. Should she tell him now, or let things play out a little longer? Before she can decide, her phone vibrates. She glances at the screen and stiffens. Mom, we need to talk. Now. Mia's stomach twists. Her mother only texts like that when something serious is happening. And Mia has a feeling this is about to get very complicated. Mia grips her phone tightly, her heartbeat drumming in her ears. She already knows what this is about. Her mother never does anything without a plan. And if she's demanding a meeting now, it means the next move is already in play. Austin notices the shift in her expression. Everything okay? Mia hesitates, then forces a small smile. Yeah, just my mom. She probably wants to know how the reunion went. Austin chuckles. Should I expect an interrogation? Mia tries to laugh, but it comes out weak. Something like that. She knows she can't avoid this. An hour later, Mia arrives at her mother's elegant townhouse, the weight of the night pressing down on her shoulders. The moment she steps inside, her mother, Eleanor, is already waiting in the dimly lit living room, sipping a glass of red wine like a queen surveying her kingdom. You took your time, Eleanor says smoothly, setting her glass down. I assume things went well with Austin? Mia crosses her arms. Mom, what did you do? Eleanor arches an eyebrow. I simply ensured that a good man didn't slip through your fingers. Mia lets out a frustrated sigh. You planned the entire reunion, didn't you? Every little moment. Isabella's stunt, Enoch's questions, even Austin showing up when he did, it was all you. Eleanor smiles, completely unbothered. Not everything, darling. Just the pieces that mattered. Mia shakes her head. That's insane. You can't just manipulate people's lives like that. Her mother leans forward, her expression sharp. Mia, do you have any idea what's at stake? Mia freezes. What do you mean? Eleanor takes a slow breath, choosing her words carefully. Austin's business is thriving, but it's also vulnerable. He has partners, powerful ones, who watch his every move. I made sure you were positioned exactly where you needed to be. Mia's stomach drops. What are you saying? Eleanor stands, smoothing the folds of her silk blouse. I'm saying that if Austin had proven himself to be cruel, dismissive, or selfish, certain decisions would have been made. She tilts her head. Decisions that would have shifted the future of his company. Mia feels like the floor is crumbling beneath her. Are you telling me that I had influence over his business? That I was planted there? Eleanor sighs. Not planted, Mia. Positioned. She meets Mia's eyes. And now you have a choice to make. Do you tell him? Or do you protect him? Mia thought she had control of her own life. Now she realizes she's at the center of something far bigger than she ever imagined. And the truth? It could break everything. Mia stares at her mother, her mind spinning. This isn't just about her love life anymore. It's about Austin's future, his business, his trust, and she's been a pawn in it all along. Her voice is quiet, but sharp. You used me. Eleanor's expression remains calm. I protected you, and I ensured you had a future with a man who actually deserves you. Mia shakes her head, stepping back like she needs space to breathe. You tested him. If he had treated me badly, you would have... What? Ruined his business. Eleanor exhales, like she's explaining something to a child. It wouldn't have been me ruining it, Mia. But let's just say, I have connections that could have shifted things in a different direction. Mia's stomach churns. She thinks of Austin, of the way he looked at her tonight, of how he opened up, how real it all felt. And now, she knows that he never even had full control over his own fate. This is wrong. Mia squares her shoulders. I won't lie to him. Eleanor studies her, then sighs. You don't have to lie. Just omit certain details. Mia shakes her head. No. Eleanor's gaze sharpens. Think carefully before you make that decision, Mia. Mia doesn't hesitate. I have, and I choose Austin. For the first time, Eleanor's mask slips just slightly. There's something in her eyes. Disappointment? Concern? But she doesn't argue. Instead, she nods slowly. Then I hope, for your sake, that he chooses you back. Mia leaves without another word. Her hands tremble on the steering wheel as she drives back toward her apartment. The closer she gets, the more her heart pounds. What if Austin doesn't forgive her? What if this destroys everything? But one thing is clear. He deserves to know the truth. She parks in front of his building, takes a deep breath, and grabs her phone. Her fingers hover over his contact before she finally presses call. It rings once, twice. Then his voice comes through. Mia? She swallows hard. Austin? We need to talk. There's something I have to tell you. The truth is out of her hands now, and Mia has no idea if it will set her free or shatter everything. Austin listens to Mia's voice over the phone, sensing the weight behind her words. He glances at the city skyline from his penthouse window before answering. All right, he says. Come up. Mia takes a deep breath before stepping out of her car and heading inside. The elevator ride feels endless, and when the doors finally slide open, Austin is already waiting for her in the living room. The moment she sees him, her chest tightens. He looks calm, but his eyes are searching hers, as if he already knows something is wrong. She doesn't waste time. Austin, I haven't been completely honest with you. He folds his arms. Go on. Mia swallows hard. The reunion wasn't as random as it seemed. My mom planned most of it. She wanted me to get close to you. She exhales. And I, without realizing it at first, was working behind the scenes in ways that affected your business. If you had rejected me, if you had been the wrong kind of person, things could have turned out very differently for you. Austin's jaw tightens, but he doesn't speak. Mia rushes on. But I didn't know how deep it all went until tonight, and I swear what I feel for you is real. This stopped being about my mom's plan a long time ago. Austin runs a hand through his hair. So, let me get this straight. His voice is even, but there's an edge to it. Your mom, one of the most influential women I've apparently ever met, was testing me? And you were part of it? Mia nods, her throat tight. Yes. Austin is quiet for a moment. Then something shifts in his expression, like a puzzle piece finally snapping into place. He exhales sharply. I knew she looked familiar. Mia blinks. What? Austin lets out a half laugh, shaking his head. Years ago, when I was just starting out, I helped a woman at a cafe. She was dressed simply. Nothing flashy, just normal. She was struggling to carry some heavy boxes, so I helped her. She thanked me, and we talked for a bit. She asked about my business, my dreams. His eyes flick back to Mia. That was her, wasn't it? Mia's heart pounds. I don't know. Maybe? Austin lets out another chuckle, but this time it's different. Lighter. I didn't realize it at the time, but I remember thinking, she has this presence, like she's important, but she never said who she was. She just wished me luck and left. Mia stares at him. And now you know. Austin nods, his gaze softening. Yeah, now I know. Mia steps forward hesitantly. Austin, I know this is a lot, but I need you to believe me when I say, none of it changes how I feel about you. Austin watches her for a moment longer, then sighs, rubbing the back of his neck. You know, if this were anyone else, I'd be furious. Mia braces herself. And now? He meets her eyes, a small smirk tugging at his lips. I think I just realized how much your mom likes me. Mia lets out a breathless laugh, relief washing over her. So, you're not mad? Austin shakes his head. I don't love that I was a test subject, but honestly, it doesn't change how I feel about you either. Mia's heart swells. Really? He steps closer, reaching for her hand. Yeah, because at the end of the day, the only thing that matters is us. Mia squeezes his hand, a smile breaking across her face. So, does that mean you still owe me those tacos? Austin grins. Oh, absolutely. The truth is finally out, but one last thing remains, Mia and Austin's future. And this time, they're writing the ending together. A week later, Mia finds herself back at the very cafe where Austin had unknowingly met her mother years ago. Only this time, she's not alone. Austin slides into the seat across from her, setting down 2 trays, one with a plate of street tacos for her, and one with a burger for himself. I told you I'd pay up, he teases. Mia grins, unwrapping a taco. I had my doubts. He chuckles, but there's something softer in his gaze now, something sure, steady. It's been a whirlwind of a week, full of long talks, apologies, and even a very interesting conversation with her mother, who had simply smiled and said, I knew he'd pass the test. Mia still didn't know whether to be annoyed or impressed. As they eat, Austin reaches for her hand across the table. So, he says, now that we're past the secret business tests and matchmaking schemes, what's next? Mia tilts her head, pretending to think. We could keep things simple. Date like normal people. Enjoy life? Austin raises an eyebrow. No dramatic surprises? She laughs. No dramatic surprises. Then she pauses, biting her lip. Well, maybe one. Austin narrows his eyes playfully. Mia. She pulls out a folded piece of paper and slides it toward him. Before all of this, I wasn't sure about my future. But now, I think I finally know what I want. Austin unfolds the paper and reads it. His eyes widen. You're starting your own consulting firm? Mia nods. I've been working behind the scenes for years, but it's time to do it for myself. No secrets, no hiding. Just me, helping businesses grow the right way. Austin grins. That's amazing, Mia. He pauses, then smirks. You know, my company could use a consultant. She laughs, shaking her head. Oh no, we are not mixing business and romance like my mom did. Austin shrugs. Fair enough, but I'm still proud of you. Mia squeezes his hand, warmth filling her chest. And I'm proud of you. You've built something incredible, Austin. And now we get to build something together. Austin lifts their intertwined hands and presses a kiss to her knuckles. Sounds like a plan. As they sit there, the city buzzing around them, everything finally feels right. No more tests, no more hidden motives, just two people who were always meant to find their way back to each other. And this is only the beginning. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on more drama, romance, and unexpected twists. Drop a comment below. What was your favorite moment? Let's talk in the comments.